The Marybeth Conley Show on KWAM, FM 107.9 and AM 990. KWAM. Streaming live at KWAMTheVoice.com.
Our $1 Million Mind. Every month, we are so blessed to have Allison K Summers. She is the author of Connect to Influence, and her website is AllisonKSummers.com. Allison, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic today. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
We are always so thrilled to have you. You know, I was saying before the break, there's networking, and everybody thinks whether it's a nonprofit they wish to spread the word about or their corporate work, they want to get out and network. But you really kind of want to throw the word network away and replace it with connect with people. That's what you teach. And you have 6 great, simple takeaways for us if we want to make better human connections. First of all, why is this so important, whether it's personal life or business?
Well, I think it's really important, and this is somewhat gleaned from a chapter in my book, Connect to Influence, and it came about because I was so frustrated with the elevator pitch. As you said, I want to throw the word networking out, and I talk a lot about connecting in the human space and knowing how to connect in the digital space relevantly. Mm-hmm. And so this elevator pitch speech thing was all about you, right? It's centered on you, and you have to have this whole language, and, you know, and it's get it out fast before somebody shuts you off. And I just hate that concept. So you have to be on point with your message, but we have to be human first. And so that's what these 6 tips are for.
Yeah, so you use the acronym CHARMS. I love that. It's like turn on the charm. Now, here in the South, we think that means batting our eyelashes, but it's really, admit it, ladies, but you're going to bring a little of the Chicago with us. It's really much more about what? What's the C in CHARMS?
Yeah, so I'll tell you that, the charms can sound a little fluffy, but it is all about business. That is the end goal, or relationships, to make ourselves happier and feel that we're living a healthier and more robust life. So the C is create a comfortable environment. And if you come to my workshops, we talk about how do you feel grounded, like, you know, stand up. Can you feel your heels in the ground? Okay. Are you giving a sense of chaos when people are in your presence, or are you flighty, speaking from your head versus from your gut? But, you know, your home is within the 3 feet space wherever you go. And so you need to treat people when you meet them as if they're in your home.
Wow. So you need to own the space, but not in an overbearing sort of way.
Beautifully put.
Yeah, no, chaos, clutter. We have a busy enough lives. If you project that, people will turn you off before you even know what you do. The next one is H, is hear with your eyes. And I love how you're talking about humor today, because often we're so busy looking at devices or scanning the room for who we're going to talk to next that we're not smiling with our eyes and understanding that if our eyes are the windows to our soul, people are picking up right away what's going on, what's our ulterior motives, what's really going on in the back. And I think this one is so hard, but it's so simple. Just, you know, work on it.
So true.
So eye contact, but then you don't want to stare them down either.
Oh, no. You've got to do the great one is if you feel like you're talking to somebody and you don't want to be overstaring, always, you know, you can do where you do shift to be more shoulder to shoulder. So you're kind of physically with them, but looking in another direction.
Okay.
I was at a networking event recently where I did the horrible thing of I had eye contact with somebody and my mom brain kicked in, right? I started thinking about things at home, and my eyes shifted and they went over this individual's right shoulder. Oh. And he abruptly stopped mid-sentence, and he said, "You're done with me, aren't you?" And I was like, "What? Excuse me?" And he goes, when people break the gaze and look over the right shoulder, they are done with you and looking for a way out. And I had never heard that before. Wow. And so, yeah, you have to be very conscious what you're doing with those eyes.
Yeah, and all you were thinking about was, did I turn the stove off this morning when I left the house?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so be very present, but don't get them in a staring contest.
No, do not get
So
in a
find a
staring contest,
balance there.
but good enough that they know you're with them. You're in that moment.
Okay.
And the third one, the A, is the one I struggle with, Marybeth. And I don't know about the ladies that are on the show today, but the third one for the A is avoid too much self. And, you know, you want to connect with people, so when they give you something that matches an experience you've had, the natural instinct is, oh, they just talked about a trip, and I went to that same place, so I'm now going to tell them all about my trip.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. We're in the moment of letting them speak about themselves, because when you let people speak about themselves, their chemistry in their body feels good, and they project it on you. You make them feel good. So think of what's important versus the purpose of what you want that conversation to be. You know, it needs to be about them,
Right.
not so much about you, which goes right to the R, which is relate relevantly. And that's, again, understanding the topic, the timing, and the word choices. And I'm sure you've had this, right?
Give us an example, yeah.
Well, you know, you could be talking to somebody, and especially if you're thinking you're trying to do sales and you're trying to work it in, or you want to shift the conversation. And sometimes, particularly as ladies, we multitask so fast, right? We're spider webbing our brains, and we shift the conversation too fast, and we lose the person. So be very cautious about the timing. If you think that somebody is at a place where you're going to insert your message and keep going, just be cautious about that. Read the body signals of that other person.
Okay.
Or think about your transition language. Hey, what you just said makes me think about this.
But if you don't feel like maybe the timing is right, you could say, it makes me think about this. May I call you and we might have coffee, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. Or keep that thought in the back of your head.
Okay. For later.
For later. You just said the great thing, because we're always looking for the for later, because that has a better lifespan. If I can follow up on LinkedIn, email them. You know, when we were talking, I thought about this podcast that I wanted to recommend to you. I thought about this book. Save it for later. You don't have to fill everything in those first few minutes to make a great impression.
Okay. So we've got the char. What's the mms?
Oh, this is the matching the styles. You know, we are so deprived as humans in our digital world today to find our quote-unquote tribe, people that we relate to, that even when you're at a networking event, even if the commonality is ever so small, people's inner beings will grab hold of it, you know, because when we walk into those environments that are very uncertain, and we can find somebody that either physically is adopting the same stance as us or looks like us or something, it, you know, take that to your advantage. You know, maybe start with some of those comfort. But on the style, if you're talking with somebody that's using a lot of humor and joking a lot, be sure that you're lightening up your face and playing along and going with it.
Okay.
And if you're talking to somebody that's a little bit more introspective and reserved, don't throw your full humorous self onto them, thinking, I'm going to cheer them up.
What about physically matching? I mean, I've heard that you can do that sometimes, like if they, I'm trying to think of a gesture. You know,
I love
put a
this
hand on the hip, that sort of thing. Yes? No?
Again, it's that subconscious, right? We still haven't gotten rid of all of our primal instincts. So if somebody fixes their glasses, you can fix your glasses, or you can put your hand on your chin if they put their hand on their chin. Yeah, small things, not overboard.
Okay.
You certainly never want to cross your arms or close your body off, but just small things. You know, they put their weight on their right foot, and you're going to put yours on the left, so you're like mirroring them.
Okay.
And you know, there are people that do the complete study of NPL, you know, or NLP, neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need to go overboard. But yeah, you want to show you're part of their tribe, that they're comfortable with you.
Yeah, I've always heard, like, if you're in Europe, let's say you here in the country, let's just go red and blue, right? We feel like we're divided. But if you're in another country and let's say on a trip and you meet an American, they could be polar opposites politically, but you're like best friends because you're both Americans. So that's sort of this matching comfort thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
absolutely.
Got
I mean,
it.
I even know people that take it to the extreme that, if the other person's ordering tea, they're going to order tea. Now, you have to go. Let's see. Earlier in this broadcast, I heard you talk about operating in integrity. So we want to do all of our charms operating in integrity.
Don't start drinking if you're not a drinker just because, Marybeth has ordered wine. Okay, last but not least, what's the S in charms?
Share something of value. We already said this, but do not misunderstand what it means to be an everyday hero to someone, right? Our lives are so complex and overburdened that if somebody gives us any tip or a gift of something that we need, no matter how small, it just brings joy to us. And that's why I like to take this piece as extending it beyond that initial conversation. And that's where you take the human connection into the digital space and sharing, following up and sharing something of value with somebody that can hopefully help out their business and help them earn more money. That's the game we're in.
Absolutely. Help them. It helps you. So later today, ladies, we're going to find a great article on the importance of the human connection. We're all going to email the same article to Allison.
I think what Allison's doing has so much positive science behind it as well,
Absolutely.
teaching people emotional intelligence and empathy and connection.
I love
Congratulations,
Love
Allison.
it.
This
Yes,
stuff
awesome,
is
Allison.
good stuff.
Yeah, well, thank you. Like I said, this all came out of my anti-elevator pitch stage.
Thank you so much. Absolutely love it. You are indeed $1 million mind.
Yes, she is.
Interact with Allison at AllisonKSummers.com and get her book, Connect to Influence. Allison, thank you so very much. Have a blessed day.